Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and Happy New Year 2025 to each and every one of you. And let's just say, I think a lot of us have struggled in 2024. I think we can all agree, yeah, last year wasn't our favourite year. I mean, particularly me and my friends had mental health struggles, and I opened up about my mental health struggles in my recent community post. So thank you all so much for being good listeners and for taking your time to hear my story. But I just pray that 2025 is our year and is an improvement in every single way. And it looks like it's shaping up to be a better year than 2024 already. And I think that in terms of movies, this is certainly going to be a step up from the previous year, because boy, do we have a lineup. And without further ado, if you want to know the top 10 movies that I am most greatly anticipating this year, the year that I turn 30, then just keep watching. Before we get to the primary picks, let's just start off with some honourable mentions. Megan 2, Jurassic World Rebirth, the Minecraft movie, and last but certainly not least, Marvel's Fantastic Four. So now let's get to the real top 10. At number 10, my most anticipated comic book movie for 2025, Thunderbolts, the kind of sequel slash spin-off to 2021's underrated Black Widow. And boy, does it look thunderously entertaining, with Yelena clearly stole the entire show in Black Widow, and it looks like she's going to continue her sister Natasha's legacy with a bang. This looks like it's going to be yet another cracking hit superhero team movie from the folks at Marvel Studios, and it's going to be the next Guardians of the Galaxy. And yes, this is one of the only years ever where I'm more anticipated for Marvel movies than DC movies. You Marvel fanboys will be overjoyed by that, as well. We only have Superman Legacy coming this year, and that I'm still 50-50 on. At number 9, the one and only DreamWorks movie I have any interest in 2025, The Bad Guys 2. Now, the first Bad Guys is one of the better DreamWorks movies of the 2020s, and I'm sure this is not going to be a Trolls a World Tour or Trolls Band Together or Boss Baby 2. This is going to be more like How to Train Your Dragon 2 and 3, or the Shrek sequels, or the Kung Fu Panda sequels, or even Puss in Boots The Last Wish. I'm sure of it. We even have a female team in this one, the Bad Girls, which is going to be awesome seeing both gangs in this movie. And my one nitpick with its predecessor was that I do think the hamster villain was rather forgettable. So I hope this sequel gives us a far more grandiose antagonist. What other DreamWorks movies do we have this year? Well, Dogman, which looks and then oh boy, a certain live action remake, which the less said about that, the better. So in comparison to those two, I'll happily take Bad Guys 2. At number 8, Ballerina, the one John Wick movie that I have a hope of enjoying, thanks to Anna de freaking Armes. She was the fan favorite of No Time to Die as Paloma, and she's I guarantee it, she is going to be the goat of all John Wick characters. And this is going to be a blockbuster that makes ballet badass and hardcore. And I, I think it was a blessing that it was delayed to this year, as it's going to not have competition with Inside Out 2 this summer. At number 7, Pixar's Elio, and yes, an original Pixar movie, and the original one should always be given a chance. I hope that Elio is a excellent animated classic from the geniuses at Pixar, as it looks like Pixar's Treasure Planet, a young boy who explores different worlds and bonds with different aliens who look so cute and cuddly, by the way. And I think Zoe Saldana, Natiri herself, is going to be voicing Elio's aunt, from what I've heard, even though it was initially going to be America Ferrera, Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon. But that alone has me on board. At number 6, my upcoming movie from my dear friend Ollie Pajak from his channel Pajak's Perspective, Financial Temptation. And I hope to come to the premiere and first screening of this one, because Ollie, this is one of his a true passion projects, so where he's putting his blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it's going to be his biggest movie since 50 Slices of Bonding, and it's going to be one of the it's going to be the greatest, lowest budget heist movie of all time. I already call it, with a top-notch looking cast and top-notch locations just from the trailers alone. At number 5, Zootopia 2. Yes, the long-awaited Zootopia follow-up, one of the most beloved Disney revival age classics, and 9 years after the original. Sure took Disney long enough, but I can't wait to see what's the next stage of Judy Hopps' and Nick Wilde's relationship. Are they really going to get married and have a different species relationship? I hope the conflict isn't just, prejudice and bigotry all over again in the city of Zootopia. I hope that there's a brand new case for Judy and Nick to solve this time. And the villain had better not be a twist antagonist all over again like Bellwether. It'd better be a better villain with more of a presence. But boy, I can't wait to hear the soundtrack, because Try Everything still gets me going. At number 4, the Until Dawn movie, and the movie's only 4 months away, and why have we still not had any marketing or any poster or trailer for it whatsoever? What's taking them so long? But still, I trust David F. Sandberg with this project after he proved himself with the Shazam duology in the DCU, and at least Peter Stormare, who was Dr. Hill in the original game, is reprising his role for the movie. It's just a pity that we're not going to get Hayden Panettiere or Galadriel Steinman or Megan Martin or any of the original young actors for this movie. I will give the new cast a chance, and to see if they can blow my socks off with their portrayals of some of my favourite video game characters. And if you saw my Until Dawn playthrough last year, you have an idea of what the game is. I just hope this movie is as terrifying and is as gripping and keeps you on your toes as the game. And I hope it makes some changes for the game and can still be its own thing, so that fans of the game won't be able to just predict the entire story step by step. And because it's a decision-based game, I cannot wait to see what ending that they pick and go for. And I can't wait to see this with my pals for Free Amigos in April. Could be a truly awesome way to honour the game's 10th anniversary. Damn, 10 years of Until Dawn just flew by. At number 3, Wicked for Good, and I'm sure most people weren't so fussed about Wicked Part 2 initially, but now everybody's including it on their top 10 most anticipated movies for this year, after the sheer surprise of how much they adored Wicked Part 1. So Part 2 had better deliver the goods. And I think For Good is the ideal title, because For Good is one of the defining moments in the show, certainly in Act 2. I just hope Wicked for Good gets a 12A PG-13 rating, as it is the darker part of the story, and we've even got some original songs for this part, so it's not just going to be the songs from Act 2, which is going to be different. And I've seen sneak peeks of Glinda's blue dress in this one, and she still looks as gorgeous as she did in Part 1, but yeah, I hope this one just doesn't overdo nostalgia with the callbacks to The Wizard of Oz. I hope it can still, very much be its own story, like Wicked Part 1 was, because Act 2 of Wicked does feel really like the Wizard of Oz prequel and ties into it heavily. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a electrifying Deathly Hallows Part 2 like conclusion to this two-part musical epic, and if it's even longer than part one, I won't complain. Number two, a movie that's not everybody seems to be aware of, but when I heard Margot Robbie was starring in it, you know I'm gonna be the first person to book my ticket the moment tickets go on sale this summer. A big, bold, beautiful journey. Margot Robbie's grand and long-awaited return to the big screen after she took a year off acting last year. Even though she did star in that Chanel 5 commercial in October, which was the best commercial of last year, and huge congrats to her and her husband Tomaki on their new child. I'm so proud of her. And from all I know about the plot, it just appears to be a romance story with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell and Phoebe Waller-Bridge in the cast too. But because I know so little about the plot, that only makes me even more hyped that I'm going in blind as possible. And I just I that's so if it turns out to be a genuine masterpiece without any hype or expectations at all, that would be wonderful. But no denying Margot Robbie is gonna give the greatest performance of 2025 in this movie alone. I mean, just after she reached her peak acting with Barbie. But this would be number one if not for one that we've got to wait until December to see. And my number one most anticipated movie of 2025 is, drum roll please, duh, obviously it was gonna be Avatar Fire and Ash. OMG, the hype for this upcoming third Avatar installment is unreal. I'm still convinced this is gonna turn out to be one of my all-time favorites movies, as well. The Way of Water turned out to be one of the most perfect and flawless sequels in the history of cinema. So how can Avatar Fire and Ash possibly outdo that? Well, I think James Cameron has promised this one's going to be darker and less predictable than The Way of Water. He's promised us whatever you think it's going to be, it isn't. And Jack Champion has even said the story's going to take a shocking, unpredictable turn just when you think you know where it's going to go. The concept art for this movie that we got at D23 alone just made me go, holy fuck. So goodness knows how astonishingly epic the trailers are going to look. And I think the visual effects are going to be guaranteed the highest quality, state-of-the-art CGI that mankind has ever seen. CGI the world is not itself is not ready for, but I think the story and characters are going to be the most impressive thing about this film. We're finally going to see a side of Pandora and the side of the Na'vi in a different light. We're going to focus on two clans, the Wind Traders and the Mun Quan, the Ash clan, who are far more evil Na'vi clan than the previous ones, with the inclusion of Varang, played by Una Chapman, and her husband Palek, played by Remus Lupin himself, David Thewlis. And I just can't wait to see how the Sully family are going to avenge Neteyam, how they're going to make their stand against the RDA after everything they lost in The Way of Water. I can't wait to see what direction they take Quaritch and Spider. And God, after the loss of Neteyam, I can't imagine who's gonna die in this one. So yeah, I think the stakes are gonna be even higher. And if it's 3 hours and 10 minutes, then I will be a happy customer. This is undoubtedly going to be the biggest movie event of the year and the highest grossing movie of 2025. It's guaranteed to be a $2 billion movie. It's going to be the seventh film to make that much. So I'm proud to call Avatar Fire and Ash my most anticipated movie for 2025. So yeah, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my top 10 most anticipated movies for 2025, and I hope each of them meet expectation, if not surpasses. I mean, yeah, who knows what they will bring. And well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. And what are your top 10 most anticipated movies for 2025? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time, where I share my top 10 least anticipated movies for 2025. Well, technically, there's just going to be five because there are only five movies that I am particularly dreading having to see. Uh, and remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.